404 goals in just 96 games, including finals. Just 2 stalemates all year, 3 games with more than 10 goals scored, an average of 4.2 goals per game. That was last season, though. Welcome to 2024, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark DePoli, as keen as you are to be back for another year of Blacktown Premier League football. Take my word for it, this is a competition like no other, with players so committed to the cause that they would swear up and down that they bleed the very colour of their clubs. Goals, comebacks, thrills, spills, drama, delight and dismay. This league overindulges in all of that goodness. And some 6 months since we were last here, we're now back. Let's tone it down a touch. Today is a special bookmarked occasion. It's the annual Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup between Doonside Hawks and Quakers Hill Juniors. Tragedy stuck in 2019 when a motor accident took Ryan Dimech's life, and he left behind many loved ones, many who will play today in his honour. A Dooney boy, it's truly wonderful to say that the first match of the round of 2024 is the Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup, and long may it continue. At one point in this preamble, we will observe a minute's silence. I encourage you to follow along from wherever you're watching around the world. Let's head back to the football side of things temporarily, though. A special occasion it is, as it's also round 1 of the season, and it's a first opportunity to look at a Dooney team that arguably could be stronger on paper than their 22 championship winning team. Yes, I said it. And a Quakers outfit that has waved goodbye to an old generation and welcomed a newer, younger one, led by a couple of emerging club legends who are sticking around to make sure it's less of a transition period and more of a new dawn. Let's zoom in a bit more. Doonside Hawks, one of the fittest teams, one of the quickest, with a brand of football that everyone can write an essay on, yet very little are able to actually neutralise it. They are a band of brothers and have welcomed back 2 very familiar names. Grand Final of 2022's opening goal scorer Daniel Alessi and Grand Final of 2022's second goal scorer Ethan Eichen. They were second last year, and some will argue that if it weren't for some key players suffering late season injuries, they would have gone further in the finals. A slightly underwhelming first round exit was their fate instead. Never taking a backward step is the age-old motto of the mighty Quakers Hill Juniors, though it has been 5 years since their historic first-grade grand final win of 2018. Long have they been a team notoriously difficult to play against, able to stick in games and able to strike when the iron is hot, even if that iron was only hot for 1 or 2 chances a game. Gone is former captain Ash Coy. Gone is Sol Surgeon. Gone is George Panay, who once scored 5 in a game against today's opposition. Gone is Luca Gallo, the Pelazons, Gatsby Gray, and of course, gone is Ethan Eichen. They fielded an almost entire 21's eligible team for their Australia Cup match a fortnight ago against Bonnyrigg. The question everyone has on their lips is, can the new batch encapsulate what made juniors great? Now, they are led by an extraordinarily forward-thinking, proactive and talented coach, and captained by a man whose very football fibres were developed by Alan Stajic. There's talent there, but they need to bring it all together. And they're being asked to do it in front of the masses, on camera, in round 1. Well, I welcome you to Blacktown Football Park for the first match of the round of the Blacktown Premier League 1 season 2024. It's Dooney and it's Quakers Juniors in the annual Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup. Let's go through the starting 11s. We will start with the visitors as the 2 teams line up in the tunnel, ready to make their way out into the middle. Nick Balcom returns to play in goal in another match of the round, despite Adrian Shand from Glenwood, their number 1 choice for the last couple of years, having joined in the off-season. Nick Balcom retains his spot. It's a back 5 on the flanks, on the right, starting with Aidan Hughes, the number 40 jersey. We've been acclimatised to seeing him as a central striker in years gone by. Now the number 40 will be off to the right in defence. A very new look back three, a very young one at that too. Riley Stockdale in the 14 jersey. Be wary of him though, he once scored a first touch 40-yarder against Blacktown City in a youth trial match. Logan Van Klooster is next to him, only 20 years old. Mitch Tritton, also 20 years old but a bit more experienced in these match of the rounds. He is a real workhorse, played pretty much every minute of 21s and first grade last year, and he'll probably be doing something similar this year too. Justin Timbos, a very technical winger or fullback, is the left-sided wing back here. Through the middle of the midfield is Ryan Marchant, who will be the more defensive of the three. As you would have seen and heard on our podcast this year, he's going to be key to keeping it all together. Daniel Salden starts to the left, and on the right, Rowan Iski in the 34 starts to the right of him, I should say. He'll be the more further forward of the two. Daniel more like the 8. Daniel just 18 years old, having joined from Hills AYL last year. Rowan, you know a bit better, having made his debut last year off the bench in a match of the round. Through the middle, swapping secondary colours from red to green, it's a Glenwood duo of Avit Prasad and Michael Macaroos, who's also competing for the coolest name in all of Blacktown Association. They wear 37 and 26 respectively. Now let's go to today's considered home side. Jason Eckford's just played all of the reserve grade game. He'll be backing up to play first grade as well. Team of the year winning left back Liam Howarth is here, still only 21 years old, still as brilliant as ever. Rocking a beard this time, so he'll look slightly different than he did in the All-Stars match. On the right is Jordan Hannon, the 28 jersey. The last time that he paired up at this ground with a certain striker who we'll mention later, he was playing as a left back, and we used to refer to him as a centre mid 6/8 back then too. He's really at home at full back now. Through the middle, making his first ever appearance in the match, and not only his second ever first grade appearance, it's Henry Barcham, and of course, 18 year servant of the club, Jaden Zwereb. I'm going to interrupt myself because the presentation has started for the Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup. We'll come back to the lineup in just a moment, but let me explain to you what is happening here. It's a forever retired number 46 jersey. That was his number when he played at the beautiful club that is Doonside. And we're very thankful to be able to have his parents, who are here too. It's a cause that they have supported wholeheartedly since the late Ryan's passing back in 2019. Thank you to Rob and Shelley Dimech for allowing us to celebrate it on camera this year as well. The two teams are walking out now. This is the game of all the three grades where the crowd really stops and gets involved in the celebration and memorial that is today. It is a really fantastic tradition. It's so great to have it in season rather than in pre-season. We can have so many more eyes. We're about to observe that minute silence. If you'd like to join me in participating, please. Thank you for participating in the Minute Silence with us. To those watching along from home, you'll be able to see around the grounds today, especially when we zoom into the sidelines, there are memorial tribute posters hooked up around our black fences on the outskirts of our field, which is, I think, a really, really nice touch. We'll go back to the rest of Doonside starting 11. We were just about to mention the base of their midfield, Ethan Neves, who's returning from, I guess you could say, interstate duty, having played at Endeavour for a while in the Melbourne State League. He wears a 35 jersey. He's a former Champion of Champions winner in the 21s comp when that Polonia team that featured Jordan O'Keefe, Aidan Mantaruglu, and a bunch of other guys that you would all be very familiar with won in 2015. That's now almost 10 years ago, believe it or not. Now, here is potentially the best midfield in the competition on paper. Daniel Alessi in the number 8, and in the number 40, Kyle Dominici, back playing his first league game since he injured himself in a match of the round against Marion, and specifically against Dylan Owusu. He's back now after that All-Stars Brilliant bit of 70 minutes that he played in that game. Marcus Correa in the 20 jersey finally gets to play in the match of the round. He scored 7 league goals, was one of their best performers last year. He came out of absolutely nowhere and took the competition just low-key by storm. He was suspended for the first match of the round. He wasn't registered for the one prior to that. And it's finally great to have him here, and I'm sure we'll see him ball out. He's been moved to the wing in recent weeks, and he's scored 2 in 2, so expect a lot. Tony Gagliini, a name synonymous with success in the Blacktown competition, starts off to the right. He's returned, actually, from his last appearance being one where he was forced off with a wickedly terrible concussion that he sustained against Eastern Creek. Thankfully, though, he's back to his Red Bull drinking best. And through the middle, the last time he wore these colours on this pitch in a match of the round, he scored and assisted to take out the grand final. Man of the match against Ponds in 2022, Ethan Eichen is back at Glendenning, but today, of course, Blacktown Football Park. Once again, my name is Mark DePoli. I thank you for being here. This is the Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup. Round 1 of the Blacktown Premier League is about to continue on. There have been some crazy results around the grounds today. We've had everybody else playing here at our N Aquilina fields and the Wanderers fields and our Matildas fields as well. I know that Eastern Creek have succumbed 2-1 in first grade to Riverstone. I know that Ponds, despite a 10-man hindrance, won 2-1 against a rotated Workers side. Their midfield down, watching Daniel Ricardo qualify in 18th, unfortunately, as my phone told me before I went live, which made me quite sad. And as well, I believe that we have Tigers and Prospect. The score of that game, I don't know. I do know that Tigers were up 1-0 at some point. The two teams are in a final huddle before we finally get to kick off. Jason McManus, our centre referee. Brendan O'Shea, one of the best up-and-comers in the referees branch, is on one side. Kiana Woods is on the other. Let's see what these two have to show. It's been a rivalry that has lasted decades, forget years. We're talking about decades here. These two teams have had periods of sustained success for as long as the BDSFA has had a Premier League competition. Let's see how that translates into 2024. It will be Ethan Eichen to start us off. The first match of the round of the year, the first time we've gone live since All-Stars. Fittingly, it is an All-Star to kick us off. Boy, am I excited. Let's get into this. McManus looks around, counts 11 on each side of the half, and away we go. Straight away it goes to Dominici. His brother Ryan also watching the F1 speak of it right now. Kyle's going to jet off after this game, I've heard. So, how good that he had the commitment to come and play. It's Gagliini off to the left. Looks like Correa will be playing on the right-hand side. Tim Boss has got his right foot to that first as Quakers Hill Juniors pick up their first moments on the ball in this game. Picked up there by Dominici, who scored in their Blue Mountains Australia Cup clash. Just a couple of days ago, they came out as 4-2 winners in a very late night extra time game, where I'm sure the bodies would still be recovering back to 100%, considering how early it is in the season. Jason Eckford's taken off his hat to play the first grade game. Here is Bartram's first touch in a match of the round. He sends it forward through the midfield line to find Correa, who's held it up well, but that's been blocked there by Timbos. Be interesting to see him as a left wing back today. I think we'll find he might just flourish there. Jordan Hannon finds Ethan Neves. They have a loose first touch on his first match of the round. Timbos goes back to Tritton there. Picked up here by Ryan Marchant, who said himself that he's feeling the fittest he has in years. Be good to see him at the base of that midfield. Daniel Leslie slipped over, and I thought he might have hurt himself there, but luckily he's looking just fine as the 25-year-old. Correa, his best bit of skill so far, he lets it go and then ran after it. And then a good dink ball in, and there was Gagliini, who couldn't get his foot or head or knee over the ball, and over it went. The first opportunity of the game, even if it was a half, if that quarter chance there. Over the bar it went. I can see Quakers Hill Tigers who are watching along. There will at some point be a match of the round that includes a Quakers derby this year. Surprise, surprise. Could you have predicted that? So they're here doing their early scouting, the newcomers to the division. It's pushed forward here by Van Kluster. Up in the air it goes, over the roof it goes. First touch formally from Michael Macarus, former Glenwood man. He's recovered fully from an ankle injury that's really bothered his 2023, but in 2024 he's up a division. See how he goes up against this junior defence. Throw in taken. Headed away. Picked up there by Alessi cleared away emphatically by Galliini, who played every position bar left back and goalkeeper last year. Striker, right back, centre mid, 6'10". Right back, centre back. He played it all. Kusta goes back to Tritton. Has to be careful because he's being closed down by Eichen. If he scores today, it will be a goal, of course, against his former club. 17 goals last year, was one of the most clinical players in the competition. Maybe one of the most clinical seasons we've ever seen. Quakers juniors scored 32 goals last year. 17 of them came from Ethan Eichen. Good little divot and change of pace there it was by Rowan Iski, getting his first match of the round start. Picked up here by Galliini. It's a bit of a stop-start, back and forth half. Neither team really able to put their foot on the ball for a sustained period of time. Picked up here by Neves in those unmissable yellow boots. Timbos is playing a sort of inverted role, it seems, so copying that of some very high-class professional teams is Jules Bombach, the coach of Quakers. So throwing it will be on that far side. You might be able to see those lovely Ryan Dimich Memorial posters that have been hung up. Marchant, a little flick forward. Lost there, I believe, by Michael Makarus. Avit Prasad, 1, 2, 3. He's beaten. Can he get the shot off back onto his right foot? He didn't quite get past Wereb. That's not a damning indictment on him at all. That's not an easy task, and the captain, into his prime years as an athlete, was able to deal with that quite well, Jaden Zwerb. So the first corner, Quakers Hill Junior has been taken by Aidan Hughes. Good ball in, and Marchant will obviously be the target every time, you can imagine. Punched away rather than caught by Eckford. And that will find touch Quakers' way, who seems to have the ascendancy so far in terms of the momentum. Back it goes by Iski. Picked up there by Riley Stockdale. Be given away. Kyle Dominici is a bruiser. Time here for Daniel Alessi. That's not a sentence you should want to hear out loud. Barcham picks it up. Marcus Correa. Battered into by Ryan Marchant. Picked up here by Jordan Hannon. Strives infield to find Alessi. One touch pass. Tried to find his mate Ethan Eichen, who was critical in bringing him back to this club. Formerly of Parramatta FC, Daniel Alessi, last year in the NPL world. Balcom puts his captain under pressure, and Galliini really made the most of that press there, and it's forced a quick haphazard pass. Still just 6 minutes in. There's been chances sparingly so far. Yet to see a save really need to be produced by either goalkeeper. Could that change now? Eichen with a quick turn. Marchant did really well. They'll know all about how to shut him down, you imagine. Cut inside by Makarus. Evaded Jason McManus, the referee, just about there with a hop, skip and a jump. Flicked his heels 3 times as well with his red heels. Correa back to goal. Hannon made the overlap. Underlap, in fact. Barcham. Henry goes back to Eckford. Touch across his body to find his captain now. Liam Howarth, arguably the quickest player in the comp, was one of the highest receivers in terms of a percentage of votes in the Team of the Year last year. He can hold on to that forever because the Team of the Year voting has changed to a referees and end-of-season vote that will be dictated by a different method. I'll explain in due course when we get to a podcast episode. Little tease. Ignore the size 3 that's just entered the field. That's not a play on your eyes. Time here for Daniel Solden. Throw in again. Taken by Hannon. Correa, good touch, and his back is Hughes. Him and Timbo seem to have stopped for the time being. Neves was beaten to it there by Makarus, Avit Prasad. Jason Eckford's a bit high off his line, but he's run away from goal and then struck from distance. It was always rising too high, though, you could tell straight away. But a pot shot that came from a bit of an error from Doonside that they forced through their press. Ethan Neves struggling just a tiny little bit in his first grade air match of the round start. Let's see if he can adapt to the speed of the game in the coming minutes. So far, he's given it away a couple of times, and Quakers have quickly become keen to that. Howarth has such a recognisable technique. What a stab through that is. Gallieni went in really hard. Timbos has stayed down. Correa is completely unmarked in the middle. They're going to try and find him. Balcom spilt it, but he's under no pressure. And now the play will be stopped for the injury to Justin Timbos. Now, I think something might have been said from someone on the sideline. And there might be a yellow-tinged caution coming here for Jules Bombach, who was obviously concerned about the well-being of his player, but also the fact, on top of that, that it left his defence completely wide open. Even though this is a game that has yielded a lot of high scores in recent games, the first goal of the game usually tends to be the most important one. Bravely back to his feet. That's certainly a little gingerly by the 22-year-old. Just 10 minutes into this one. Either side yet to really stamp any sort of authority in terms of any of the metrics that you might measure. And they're the best two half chances of the game so far have come to those who wear maroon. Jordan Hannon will have a throw-in again. And long he goes. It goes in the direction of Alessi and Correa, and they both couldn't figure it out. Makarus was beaten to it by Howarth. Not the first time, we'll say that this year. Lots of space here for Ethan Neves. Can he find Gallieni darting away in behind up the line? It's a difficult ball for him to control on his left foot straight away, so he cuts back and slows it down. He's taking a little touch there off of Riley Stockdale, and it will be another corner from that far side. How good is it to have Premier League Match of the Round games back live on your Facebook and YouTube channels? I think it's fantastic. No place I'd rather be. One arm raised, ball in towards that back stick. Correa was rising, Marchant beat into it. He'll be critical from set pieces this year. Kyle Dominici definitely thought about it. Away, oh, it's been missed, and now it's heading back towards goal. Nick Balcom might have to recover bravely. And in the end, he just had to see it go over, but it will be another corner. Tigers have beaten Prospect, I've been told. Pons and Workers ended up being 3-1 the way of those in gold. Wow, Byron Grandemainge with a hat-trick on his PL1 debut. He haunts Prospect once again. Isn't that a storyline? One arm raised again. This one's gone more towards the front post and flicked away. I think it came off of Icon, but in the wrong direction from goal. Away comes Stockdale, and there could be something on here, but Jaden's where, my word, he is still so nippy. He's going to have to be tested on his agility this time, and he's done swimmingly well. Time for Zverev now. 18 years a servant of this club. 2/3 of his life. Sent towards Icon, who will try to flick it on again. That's some great playmaking. Correa flicks it over his man. Correa will try the pot shot. Ooh, got under it. Although that ball will actually stay in. Gallieni tries to recycle it. and it was almost Van Basten in the final. Throw in right on the corner flag. Throw in taken. Alessi taken off of him. Barcham not strong enough for Prasad. Dominici, though, went in legally and with some force. This time he was almost beaten to it, but he's come away with it again. Correa, can he deliver? Goes inside. Oh, lovely ball. Ethan Eichen on return to his old club. Great save, Balcom. And time had Mitch Tridden. Marchant looked up, looked around, got it back off of Solden. Ooh, missed, and then a slip. And now Galliini past his man. He had the momentum. Galliini squared and away from Eichen before he could get the shot off. Bit of a poor touch there. Correa, who's been so good so far, cuts back. Marchant read it perfectly. Avit Prasad needs to run in behind. It could be a foot race. Macarouse takes a touch, and now he's almost looking like he's just as quick as Jaden Zwerb. He'll have to cut back inside. It's been read well, and he's put it out for a throw. Very, very well done by the captain of Dooney. Taken by Michael Macarouse. Throwing again for those in green. This has been a really good contest so far. Barcham didn't read it right. Macarouse. The same can be said of him. Zwerb, full of running, trying to restart the play straight away. Howarth, who honestly had such a fantastic All-Stars match, and I mention it because it was the last game that we got to see him in. He's taken out there. That'll be the first time that happens to him this season. It will most certainly not be the last, where he uses his electrifying pace to get past you in a flash, and they're just forced to stop him by hook or by crook. And those, especially on this surface, hurt. "15 minutes in, still deadlocked." Zwerb sends it in, a bit shy of a direct-headed opportunity towards goal. Picked up here by Howard, who is left-footed, past his man in a flash. The flash now into the box, should be picked up by Balcom. He missed it completely. Wrong kind of technique. He's gone down clutching his ankle. He looks like he's in a world of pain. Well, what happened to him there? I think he got stamped on. And he is really, really feeling that. I think he might be okay in half a minute or so, but those stamps, studs on those very exposed areas of the ankle can be so painful. I don't think Adrian Chan will be warming up on the sidelines just yet, but that will hurt for a couple days, no doubt. Physio, coach, life coach, bus driver, all of the above, Jules Bombach today. Co-commentator too. Drop ball and away we go. So add a minute on to the end of the 45 once we do get there. Still half an hour away, only 1/6 of the way through the game. Van Klooster. Logan can't quite find his way out, although that's a great little change of direction there. Nice touch there by Daniel Solden as well, and they just couldn't quite get the combination right, but this is such a new team that once that starts to click, you can see the patterns they're trying to create, and I have been impressed so far. Lovely square pass. Galliini goes back to his captain. Kyle Dominici. Uncharacteristically poor from him. You can expect him to try and recover it by any means possible, which he did. Howarth against Marchant again. This time he's turned away from the far bigger oppressor. Played really fine game at 6 so far, has Ryan Marchant, the captain of Quakers. Jordan Hannon. Correa's in space. He'll continue on his underlap. Can he find him again? This time he'll deliver in past him. Ethan Eichen, will he try something spectacular here out of the sky? Eichen has come away with it. Eichen should surely score. Balcom did well again, but that ankle is troubling him. Down he goes, clutching it. Play will continue on. I don't think he knows it now. Play has been stopped. I'm not sure how Eichen didn't get the shot off. Balcom was so brave. Jules Boombach getting his steps up today, that's for sure. Back he comes again. Well, he seems to be okay. He'll continue to battle bravely on. And away we go again. Dominici has space. Runs forward about 10-15 yards there. Here is Ethan Neves. 35 goes out wide. Howarth. Alessi hasn't really found his pace just yet. That's a good win back of the ball there. Daniel Alessi now sends it out wide. Galliini left-footed ball in, cleared away and up and over the fence. Onto the top of a ute. Onto the top of a second ute now. Lucky I didn't park there. Unlucky reverse lottery if you did. So now's a good time to mention the difference in experience between these two. Doonside. I'll let this corner happen first before I tell you. Galliini will take his fifth already. When I'm raised again towards that front post, should be cleared away. It is. Howarth. Ball in. That's a good looking ball. Unmarked. Correa. Easy save. Any side of the goalkeeper. And it would have got in. Almost had his first goal on camera. Logan Van Kluster. Daniel Selden. Kluster again, who's been good. Who's ball, important call. It's Quakers Juniors. So Doonside have a starting age, starting 11 average age of 26 and a half. Whilst Quakers Juniors just have 21 and slightly less than a half. So around 21 and 100 days. That's the difference. Almost 5 years in experience. Believe it or not, that's the truth. Lovely combinations and triangles there. Correa is unmarked in the box. It comes towards him. Good defending there off the post. And in a mixture of the goalkeeper too, I think. Another big save by Balcom. He hasn't really had, I don't think, with all due respect to him, a match of the round moment where I think he can be especially proud of. But these opening moments in tandem have been fantastic. This seems to be his game. Avit Prasad barely has had a touch in the last 10 or so. Barcham's done well. Picks it back up off his captain. Simple pass to Dominici. 1-2 there. 3 to find Alessi. Battered into by Marchant, but legally so. Through the lines to find Hannon. Bit of a loose touch. Selden past him as well. Hannon still going on. Free as Galliini. He should start to make that run now. Instead, it's come to his feet. Howarth will continue on the run. Handball was the call. Handball was the reason for the free kick being given. Dooney have a chance to deliver from a different kind of angle now. Could this perhaps be the moment where they change their fortunes? Howarth to deliver, of course. Swinging away from the goalkeeper. It looks a little bit flat. Cleared away by Izki there, and then again by Selden. Dominici didn't get his first touch right, so we didn't able to get the shot off. This time, perhaps Dominici. Barcham. Back to the man who just raised alarm bells around BFP. Howarth thought about delivering, didn't. Galliini central to Kyle Dominici. Howarth will now deliver in, just shy of the 18-yard box, cleared away by Timbos. Picked up here by, of all people, Jaden Zwerb. Daniel Alessi now. Daniel Alessi, left-footed strike, not really too much behind it. Balcom, nervous technique. Former Quakers Hill Tigers representative, of course. Nick Balcom. Marchant. He is looking like there's a bit of an extra spring in his step, isn't he? Very dangerous work by Tritton. Yet to really find his favoured position, I would say, used so much through the spine. Ooh, Eckford out of position. Could this be the moment? Macaroos over. Rush of blood. Off target. It was a wild lash at the ball in the end. But he had to take it in that moment. Eckford living dangerously but coming away unscathed. Played short. To Zwerb. The preferred option out the back, it seems. Sent long, Howarth. Well dealt with, Ethan Eichen. Galliini a little slow, but he picked it up so well. It's like a bulldog running down that flank. Alessi. Really well done by Timbos. Quakers have looked more than competitive in this game. They are very much in it, despite all the talk about the players that they had leaving this year. They are doing a very, very fine job. And this game, certainly from what we're seeing so far, looking like it's going to go either way. Dooney have not had their work come easy to them. Well won there, Avit Prasad, who's adjusted to the spotlight of PL1 pretty well so far, although commentators curse there as he loses out a bit poorly. Slip there, and a free kick given against Correa. Barcham plays short, Dominici 1-2, back to the free kick taker. Nice little change of direction there. He's such an accomplished futsal player as well, is Henry Barcham. He's also a twin. His twin played in the reserve grade game prior to this. Galliini, it's been such a common avenue passage of play down that side, hasn't it? Yet to really reap the rewards of a goal to go on the score sheet, but it's certainly effective in creating chances. Back to the throw-in taker, Van Klooster, who's all over that central and right-hand side of the defence. Free kick given. It's been a game played in good spirits so far. Usually tends to be when it has the name Ryan Dimech attached to it, which is a good thing, certainly. Back it goes all the way to Balcom, who's looking like his ankle is back to normal for the time being, at least. It's another good bit of work by the very technical Timbos, as I mentioned in the preamble. That ball a little far away from Aidan Hughes. Funny how fluid this back five system is that they have going. It's been great to watch. Back by Dominici to his captain. It was a bit of a bouncing pass that would have frustrated him a little bit, I can imagine. He's going to send it long. And Correa will have to work hard to keep it. I think you'll find that Alessi was offside, though, chasing that one. Ooh, poor pass out. That could have spelt danger in bold and in all caps. Nice work there. Macaroos tried to clip it back to his best mate from Glenwood. And well dealt with. Very well dealt with there by Howarth. Out of position. Neves, lovely little touch. Correa should run in behind. Hannon's worked himself into danger. And even though they're going to get a yellow card, Quakers Hill Juniors, I think it would have been better to stick towards the outside and try and find Correa through, because now the chance is gone. That was a really good opportunity to really break through when numbers were hindered. And just like that, we've gone from 15 to almost 30 minutes now in a flash. The 1/3 mark of the game has been reached. Howarth, who's dropped into a sort of centre-back position, he's asking his captain to do a bit of extra running there. Neves Hannon. Back here to Barcham. Neves trying to clip it out to his left fullback, which is currently Jaden Zwerb. Galliini. Very dangerous jump in there, Howard. He's onside. Macaroos, Eckford slightly out of goal. This is his moment. Michael Macaroos in the match of the round. No. Huge save, Eckford. And they survive. Oh, what a moment for the young lad. A chance perhaps to make amends. Delivered in, Stockdale towards that back stick, cleared away, corner off of Hannon. My word, Macaroos, former Nepean AYL representative. Had his moment right in front of him, and he couldn't take it. That's two big chances, but one in particular that, if the game doesn't go their way, he will look back to and think about what could have been. Can they perhaps change their fate now? Aiden Hughes, what's his delivery like? That stick. Ryan Marchant over the bar, over everybody else, and over the bar too. Uncontested. That's not very Doonside-like. And short they'll go again. Dominici pivots. That's a very, very commonly used Doonside bit of play here. He'll go for the chip, Correa. It's ended up being a sort of pass to himself. Alessi on return. Return to sender, that one was. Played short. Logan Van Klooster. They've given it away straight away. Dominici, who warms up for games by going on 25-kilometre jogs. Galliini did well. Space here for Alessi. Didn't get the power behind it once again there. And you can see how Correa was keen to the fact that he might fumble that one. Having spent time in Germany before a foot injury really hindered his international progress. Marcus Correa featured for FC International Berlin, which are a blue and black, as you might have been able to guess, coloured team from, as well, you also might have been able to guess, Berlin, capital of Germany. Returns home into Doonside colours, and my word, what a signing it's been. Good pass by Marchants and a turn into and a pressing attack defender by the name of Zwerb there. Alessi not being closed down so forward, he will go on his best pass there. Well done here by Daniel Selden, but Doonside have won it back. Dominici has to be careful, being closed down by Selden. Galliini turns, tries to find his marauding left back again, up against again Daniel Selden, who's getting through so much running. Would have played here last year on an away game for Hills in the AYL. It was a very competitive program they have going on there, to be fair to them. Almost the entire Tigers reserve grade team here watching along, which is very interesting indeed. And Klooster goes back to his hat-wearing goalkeeper. Very dangerous pass, and they've survived. Hughes being closed down by Hannon. That's really well done there by Mitch Tritton. Brother Riley's in the squad as well. Oh, that's poor. Dominici lets it bounce once, twice, and then passes it off to his left back. Marchant wins it back for Quakers. Well, the first game of the match of the rounds last year also featured Doonside. It was at this venue, on this pitch, and it ended in a scoreless stalemate. Only one of two stalemates in the entire competition. 96 games of last year, and it was the very first match of the round. Are we heading towards that sort of result again? Surely not. History says no. Only ever been one match of the round stalemate, and it was that game. Nice bit of combination play here. Unless he's on the ground, downtrodden. Literally. Hughes was running in behind. They went the other direction, though. Izki has space to find, I think, Makarus. He's tried to clip it in towards Avit Prasad. Was he onside? Yes was the answer. Hannon from fullback to fullback. Bounced in the classic Blacktown Football Park field one way there before it found Gallieni, but he did well. Beats the press, but not that of Marchant. Massive tackle in there on Alessi, who stayed down for the time being. Hannon being hounded. Cleared away. Barcham kept in. Correa. Marcus Correa. Aiken ahead of him. He slips over. Didn't have his eye on the ball. Oh, really well done. Rowan Izki. Can he keep it in? Deliver. Zwerb uncontested in defending there. And cleared away. Only as far as Ryan Marchant. He's had a hell of a game so far. And Timbos from distance. Oh, and will that be considered onside? It will not be. Great save, Eckford, anyway. He wouldn't have had any idea whether that flag was being raised. And either way, he stuck out his left hand there to make a really awesome save. But in the end, it wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things because that offside flag did go up. 10 to go to halftime. Deadlocked here in the first match of the round of 2024. Doonside perhaps underwhelming slightly. Quakers juniors, just 21 average squad age. Really, really impressing. Like I said, it's not a transition period in the eyes of their coach. It's a new age, a new dawn. He's told them to not have expectations on where to finish or how many goals to score or how many goals to not let in. He just wants them to take each game week by week and try and win individual battles, which will help you win individual games. That's the approach he wants to take. Other coaches might come onto the podcast that we run and say, well, we want to finish top 5, top 3, top 1. His approach was refreshingly different. Cleared away Balcom. Time Zorb. They can get to half-time with it at this score. I think they'll be quite happy. Doonside, perhaps not so much. Sent long once again. Balcom thought about coming for that. Van Klooster has done so well. Just 19 years old. He spent 15 years at this club. It's almost his entire life. He's never played anywhere else. And he's got one of the best haircuts in the entire association. Marchant facing away from the opposing goal. Ends up being cleared. And Zwerb got their first bit of aerial ping pong. Izki showing what he is made of on the ball. Picked up here, Dominici. So quick and powerful. Now he runs wide. What's his delivery like from these flanking areas? Instead, it's infield to Alessi. Tried to stab it through for Aiken. Should be cleared. Marchant living dangerously. And they survive all right. It's a massive punt out of the hands of Nick Balcom. 37 minutes played. Henry Barcham. Howarth. Game's crying out for a goal. Icon's taken up this right flank position. Another lovely flick. He's been so good at that. Hannon now still into the box. He still somehow has it. Just about avoided his hand there, and he finally loses out. Marchant now tries to unleash Timbos, who's also recovered from his ankle stab before. If he's onside, he could be through again. Eckford, great sweeper keeping. Offside flag never got raised. Dominici did well up against Daniel Solden. Timbos tries the Doonside direct approach, and just sending Stockdale on a run. The way Ethan Icon's been able to hold off defenders and use the outside of his toes to flick a ball around the back of a defence has been a new aspect to his game, which I've said a couple times throughout the years. And once again, mightily impressive as he continues to establish himself as a front-running player in this competition. He's just about hanging on that last man now. Here he is, the man of the moment. Another great bit of passing through. Correa slipped over again. Unhappy with himself. Throw in Hannon. Dominici now. Can hit it on either foot. Dominici is swinging away from goal all the time. Geez, when he hits them, they stay hit though. Five minutes left to go in this rather interesting first half. Sent away by Balcom. Won by Hannon. Picked up Correa. Throw in Doonside. They want to take it quickly. Correa can't be offside from this. Now into the box. Marchant got back really quickly. Correa still somehow has it. Still competing. Marchant steps in again. In by Hannon. Safe hands, Balcom. Cleared away by Logan Van Kluster. Here is Macaroos. Howarth, quick to recover. Infield pass to Izki. Alessi closing down Solden. Hughes beaten to it. Grazed his knees on the synthetic turf here. Daniel Solden again. Finds Marchant. Lovely stuff. Macaroos, who's been allowed to drop in and play into space and facilitate. Big tackle there. Throw in. But Dooney's ball. Sent long by Zwerb. There is Van Kluster. There is Stockdale. Izki, the furthest player forward in green, goes for it himself. Didn't really get enough behind it. Counting down the minutes to the halftime whistle now. Big win by Tritton. Great touch. Liam Howarth. The diag was on, wasn't played. Ethan Neves picks it up. Haven't seen him on the ball too much recently. Aiden Hughes, they're going to have to be forced to foul in there. That'll be the most obvious yellow card in Jordan Hannon's career.
Easily given by Jason McManus. He knew he had to make it Hannon. Now he's on thin ice for the rest of the game. Well, it's one thing out of all the top 5 sides that Doonside struggled with. It was putting balls in the back of the nets. They scored on average about 2.14 every single game as Eckford rises well to claim. It was the lowest out of the top 5. They were outscored, some by more than 20 goals with some of the other teams around them, including that of the likes of Ponds. And they've struggled so far today, even with their best players back. There's a player down right on the halfway line for them too. I think they're going to have to stop things here. Is that... It might actually be Dominici. No, it's not, I don't think. I'll alert you to the problem when I know it. There is Ronan Brahoni. Last time we saw him on our Match of the Round screens was when he delivered a secondary grand final winning assist to Ethan Iker before he then found Daniel Alessi in the box in the 2022 PL1 grand final. It was a wonderful ball on about 6 minutes into the grand final. Dooney's best aspect of their league campaign last year was their defense. 21 goals conceded in 18 games. It was only 3 shy of what Marion, the eventual champions, but also premiers, achieved with just 18 conceded. It was by far the second best defense of the top 5, but it was that goal scoring that suffered the most. And we're seeing flashes of that right now. In fact, the chances have probably dried up since the first 15 minutes as well. A couple of moments where Gallieni was bursting down that left-hand far side. And if it had been on his right foot, I would suggest that there could have been perhaps even a goal or two tucked away, but it wasn't to be on his left. And either way, we're still deadlocked as we actually tick over in a couple of moments to the 45th minute of the first match of the round of 2024. It actually might have been Tony Gallieni who's gone off. In fact, I think it was, and Franklin Kobe will come on after making up a bunch of minutes in the reserve grade game prior to this. Of course, the former Minchinbury man, the club who no longer has a Premier League entity anymore. It'll be a great time for him to get his first match of the round goal, Franklin Colby. We hope Gallieni is okay. It's his last 2 league appearances that have ended prematurely. So unfortunate for a Dooney legend. Dominici opens up the space. Oh, poor pass there by Hannon, and now it's left a 2v3. Hannon's on a yellow card, don't forget. Avit Prasad from Glenwood to Quakers. He's been slowed down, and he's just run wide. The chance hasn't quite gone begging yet. Offside flag, it now has gone begging. Seems a strange one from Avit there. Second top goal scorer for Glenwood last year with 6 goals before his season was cut slightly short. Although we did have a really good burst at the start of the year. He was up there alongside Byron in Golden Boot contention and then sort of faded away just a tiny little bit. Can he pick off where he left off in the early parts of last season? Well, that moment didn't suggest something like that. Iken will almost find that ball to his feet. Hughes against Hannon. It's been a good battle to watch so far. So we are into borrowed on time now. We've already eaten up 2 minutes of it. Well done, Barcham. Jake Taylor injured with a slight knee knock. Dominici, central pass to find Ethan Neves. One touch passing by Dooney. Howarth tries to penetrate through that defensive line. Didn't happen for him. Very, very brave work there. Van Kloos's done remarkably well. Look to the watch by the referee as Balcom plays short. Quakers know that they're not too far away from getting to that halftime team talk. And hearing from their coach perhaps what needs to change in order to find just that goal. Franklin Colby closing down there Van Klooster. Van Klooster sent away. Mitchell Tritton. Sawara into touch. Actually just about kept in. Howarth versus Solden. Solden won it but put it out. Neves. It's 3.5 minutes of added time that have been played. A couple of injuries to Quakers boys and then a junior boy towards the end of it have allowed us some extra time. Correa has so much space. This could be the defining moment of the half. He tries to cut back. It was read well by Tritton. Now onto his left-hand side. Marchant did well again. Unless he leaves it for Ethan Neves. Blocked by Van Klooster. Still picked up here well by Neves. Offside was Franklin Colby though. And inside players frustrated by that. That was a better bit of combination work by them. Sent away with lovely technique by Van Klooster. Referee with the whistle to his lips, and it brings about half-time. No goal scorers, no goal to tell you about in the first 45 minutes of the first match of the round of the year. But I can tell you it has been a hotly contested one. There have been minimal chances at both ends, but the midfield battle has been really interesting, and the change-up of styles about halfway through the first half was also very interesting too. It became a little more direct from Dooney and a little more direct from Quakers as that half went on. It is deadlocked at 0-0. Come back in about 12 minutes as we preview the second half in a bit further detail. But until then, Dooney and Quakers in the Ryan D. Memorial Cup tied 0-0.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second half of the annual Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup is set to get underway in just moments. Just waiting the referees to get back out onto the field. The two teams a bit more keen than the refs, it seems, to get things kick-started. Both now confidently looking for 3 points. What was your take on the first half? Mine was that Doonside had the better of the first quarter, you would have to say, making their way down the wings. But then Doonside found that change once Quakers Hill put more focus in defending those wider areas. And what they did was it stopped their most obvious outlet. Then Tony Galliini went down and it really took the spear out of the spearhead. And then, of course, Macaroos had probably the best chance of the game one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And, of course, he wears green. So you have to say, very even as Quakers worked into the game. They weren't poor to start with. They were just struggling to find their way. And when they did, Doonside struggled, and they left themselves a bit exposed. Let's see how that changes heading into the second half. Quakers now running from left to right across your screen. Doonside from right to left. Performance of this half so far would have to probably be Ryan Marchant or Jaden Zwereb. If you want to pick one from either side. Ethan Eichen has been very good, but hasn't really had too many opportunities to prove exactly why Doonside were so desperate to bring him back. He hasn't really had much of a shooting opportunity. He wriggled his way through once. Could there be something on here? There's certainly space. Franklin Colby has relatively fresh legs. Past Van Klooster. Tries to square red. Easily. Neves picked up. Alessi now sent wide. Hasn't been his greatest return in the middle of the park, Daniel Alessi. Probably still feeling the burn of readjusting to this squad. And their play style, of course. Only went away for 1 year. Had to learn the Parramatta FC way, then come back and relearn how Doonside play. It's not an easy job. But he'll turn his radar and calibrate it soon, I'm sure. The opening set piece of the second half is a maroon-tinged one towards the front post. Very dangerous indeed! And it's him! It is him, of course. His first goal of the season is a first goal already against his former employers. Ethan Eichen, hold the front and back page. He is back at the team that he won a championship with, and that is exactly how they wanted to start the second half. They had been dangerous from set pieces. They finally got one right, but in truth, Quakers should have dealt with it on the first bounce. It seemed like he was unmarked to head it away. Striker's instincts, yes. Barely anyone's turned back on the stream from half-time, and they've already found that the goal has been scored. Junior's asleep early on. And that was a youthful forced error there. And could that be the decider of the game? Just criminal to let the ball bounce in the box like that. That should never be happening. Certainly not at this level. And they looked a little naive there. And that's one to make the set-piece coach throw his board across the room. But typical of Eichen, in the right place at the right time. They did lose, Doonside, they did lose second-placed Player of the Year, Blake Mabry, who up and moved into state, so we've lost him from the competition, sadly, completely. But if he has striking instincts like that, from what he's learnt under his former coach, of course, sitting in the opposite dugout, well, we've seen exactly what he's learnt in his 12-month stint away. And now Quakers have it all to do. They must retaliate. If they get another chance, like Macaroos have had in that first half, they have to take it. Have to take it. Poor pass, Howarth. Tritton. Sent along. Bit route one there. Was allowed to bounce again. Ryan Marchant.
Sends it in behind for Aiden Hughes to run onto. Nice idea. Izki now facing goal. 1-2. Can he hook it at goal? No, he can't because Zwereb, like a sparrow, so quick. Corner it will be. Honestly, I'm not sure what is more mentally draining, a goal right before halftime or a goal right after it. You've just shifted your entire play style in a lot of cases to try new things and isolate individual players on the opposition, then it just comes undone like that. Can they respond? Cleared away the front post by Mr. Doonside himself. Now he's the one leading the press. Howarth can't quite get it under control, but he's allowed the time to make amends. Franklin Kobe. Sent long by the left back of the year. Lovely touch there, Eichen, who is the game winner so far. Time to work this forward. Kobe has space just outside the box. Cuts back onto his right and cleared away there. It's a welcome to the pitch for Dylan Elul, the 26-year-old, who's been at the club for a number of years now in that 27 jersey. Very short hair, easily recognizable. That's the change they've made. I think Stockdale came off, I do believe. Don't quote me on that just yet. No, he's still on the pitch. It might actually be the young former Hills AYL man who came off. Dominici, left-footed strike towards goal, couple of bubbles, and wide it goes. I think it is actually Daniel Solden who's come off, who ran rather hard in that first half, replaced by Dylan Elul. 26-year-old in the 27 jersey. Van Kluster. Ooh, it took a little touch there off of a Doonside boot. Quakers are lucky to have survived. Dominici, might he hit this? No, he opts not to this time. Needs to recharge his battery. Marchant. Hit and hope. Howarth now. That's a lovely incisive pass in behind the defence. Colby and Van Kluster came together there. Corner it will be again. Colby has gone down, now helped to his feet. Played short. It's the goal scorer going for goal, and that's maybe something he noticed from having trained with Balcom for a while, that perhaps on corner kick situations he leaves the front post more open. Either way, it was a simple claim for the number one. And Franklin Kobe, who was an injury substitute on, looks like his night might be over as well. Don't forget, he's not fresh off the bench. He's played a lot in the reserve grade game prior to this. But on comes part-time DJ, part-time physio, Ronan Brahoni again. Back to his feet now. Doesn't look like he's in too much discomfort, although looks can be deceiving. And so on we go. Almost 10 minutes played in the second half already. Sent long by Balcom. Ball a little harder to see than it was an hour ago. Tim Boss, penetrating pass. Aiden Hughes, who's had a great game at left wing back. Cleared away Zwereb. Player of the match contender. Finds another one off the head of Ryan Marchant there. Dominici, that's a good pass forward. Here is Colby back to his manoeuvrable best, it seems. Alessi now. He finds a dangerous pass. Lovely flick there. Oh, and then he tried the ball back in behind, and that wasn't Eichen's best moment there. A lovely little flick there by Franklin Colby. The drop punt there by Balcom. Iski. Flawed. Henry Barcham. Alessi finds his mate. Oh, 1-2 is brilliant. Icon looking for the assist. Alessi looking for a goal on return as well. Saved Balcom once again. Icon have a look towards goal again. Tried to be a little too lax with the pass there. Neves fortunately came away with it for Doonside. So dangerous when he runs at you like this. Great touch away from danger by Dominici, just to spread things from one side to the other. The harder that they, or the longer that they keep the ball, the harder it is to defend. The more they have to defend, the more Quakers get tired. Don't forget, you're not at peak fitness when you're in your first couple of games of community football. It usually comes at around round 8 to 10. Ball sent in behind again. It'll bounce once before going in the hands of Balcom. Tritton now. It's a game of back and forth, back and forth. Aidan Hughes. Picked up here by Iski. Now a bit of space for Prasad. Macarouse now onto his right foot. Can he find some space to unleash a shot? No. Ooh, and that might be a bit awkward height there for Eckford. No, he's dealt with it well. The idea was nice. Balcom was keen to it though. Offside flag raised for the first time in the second half. On minute 56. Movement on the bench in green. One-two is the call that Howarth wants, and Van Klooster did well. Elul. Nice touch. This is Rowan Iski in the 34. Marchant, who shouldn't be beaten when shielding. Looking for something in between Macarouse and Van Klooster in behind. Poor boy's Werb. And then that was better. Pretty emphatic that time. Aidan Hughes has had a really good shift, one where he's worked rather quite hard up and down the flank. And his 57 or so minutes will now warrant a well-earned rest. I believe that to be the number 13, Jared Butt. I will confirm when I can confirm. Stockdale, Marchant in an unfamiliar position. Really good close control of the ball though. Stockdale again. Throw in. And Klooster, good ball in, really good ball in. A tussle for it. Barcham came off worst. It is a first touch indeed for the number 13, Jared Butt. Offside flag raised. Two in the space of a couple of minutes. Really well, one in the air there, Tritton, who is a Forceful presence in the air. Alessi. Nice bit of trickery there. Howarth, ball towards the back stick. A little bit overhit there. And the game is just lacking that tiny little bit of quality, in truth. It's probably a good thing, though, that there is a goal in this one, because it means that Quakers have to try and push numbers forward in order to respond. Up and away. Push in the air. Warren's a free kick. Quakers juniors have a chance to deliver. Clipped in behind. Tim Boss forces a throw in from much higher up than where that free kick was taken just a second ago. Throw in again. Lost a little bit of yardage, but not to the hindrance of their attack now. Oh, he was free there. Macaroos tried to turn, cleared away his road. You can tell it's always him when he goes for his really emphatic boot away. Howarth asks Kobe to go. Go he did, but stopped he was by a little. Unless he turned into danger, lost the ball, picked up here Izki. Quakers continue to be more and more impressive as the day goes on, especially when going forward. Marchant had his touch tested there. Timbos. Stockdale now. Forward goes Riley in the 14 jersey. So quick, Liam Howarth. In behind again, Correa will never win that one. Picked up easily by Balcom. Easy touch out of the sky for Howarth. Up against Marchant there, and he survived. Away come Quakers with the ball. Izki was onside. Avit Prasad's making the run in behind, though not really fast enough. That ball's been battered into him. Eckford picks it up. This game, I think even in this second half, you'd have to say is lacking in a sort of a real bit of quality. I'd say that it could probably raise about 2 or 3 clicks out of 10. You'd have to say it's both teams have struggled at times to put their foot on the ball. And while you'd have to say Doonside have had the better of the chances, they're not necessarily playing probably to their highest potential, you'd have to say. Can Quakers, speaking of clicks, finally click going forward? All they need is one attack. It's been a game of very few real opportunities and very few real goalkeeper saves. That one sent almost into the car park. You can hear both teams out there in this little break in play critiquing each other with some French-sounding adjectives. Apologies if that's just blasted through your dining room. Sent away. Dominici again. Stabbed it to Alessi. Left-footed strike over the bar. Well, that time he got the power behind it, but it was far too much. For for the first time all year, you'd have to say as well, it's quite nippy out here in Rudy Hill. It won't be the first time we say that, of course. There'll be much more layers and layers required as we go further and further into that cold, snappy winter. This is where it wins it so significantly again. Kobe hit and hope. That's the sort of lacking quality that I've been talking about. Just that little moment where they have time to look up and unleash a nice pass, and instead it's more of a lash. Lucky to come away with it, but can they use that to their advantage? That's heading towards the byline. Out it goes. Junie back on the ball and in possession. Still yet to see Quakers really find something where they test Eckford since that Macaroos chance when there was still daylight and no need for your high beams. That was a long, long time ago. Ooh, given away, rather silly. Alul now, Avit Prasad in behind Macaroos, in behind Alul again, and he just didn't play it quick enough. And now it's sent in behind. Correa was onside, but Balcom was first to it. And that one's landed in the tray of a ute. Junie now looking for their second, and probably the goal that would kill off this game. Eichen wants to be the one to have a double to his name. He did in midweek against Blue Mountains FC. 2 goals in extra time. Oh, there's a player in green who's gone down in a heap there. He's backed on to his knees and back to his feet now. Howarth. Cobby being closed down by Van Kluster. Has to contend with the byline, the corner line. And Van Kluster, and Cobby's done well to keep it in Maroon possession. Dominici, who also scored in midweek. His first official goal of the season. Time for Dominici. Sent out wide. Probably a bit overhit there. Couldn't get it under control. Could Jordan Hannon. Into the final third of this game now. Howarth. Alessi. Space for Alessi. Tries to deliver in behind again. Just a little wayward every single time with that final ball. It's just been missing in this game. Lowest scorers, lowest conceders of the Big Five last year, I remind. Nice turn, Eichen. Sent out here to Kyle Dominici. And it was over. Off to the bench we go. Off goes Avit Prasad. Off goes Michael Macaroos, the latter who had the best chance in the entire game. Welcome to the pitch, Antonio Balo in the 33 jersey. Ikens picked it up here. They've given it away. Juniors, he tried to square. He didn't hit it. He was unselfish, but perhaps that was the wrong choice. Balo here on the turn. That left knee strapping makes him instantly distinguishable. It was a nice idea. In the 35 jersey as well, Ryan Corkery has come on. Brother of Abby Corkery for the same club in the Women's Premier League. Team of the Year fullback inclusion she was. Ryan, another long-time servant of the green and whites. Van Kluster. Elul in behind. And he's there to have the chance. And Rowan Iski snatched at it. And that's two chances that just go begging completely. And that's the youthful touch that's reared its ugly head just there. If they were maybe a bit more composed, a bit more experienced, and that might have been a different moment there in the game. But instead, Quakers still find themselves behind. But they need to just keep going. One thing Ryan Marchant here on the ball talked about on our podcast this midweek is that the lads can drop their heads sometimes when moments like that happen. They just need to keep going. Keep on stabbing through the defense. Keep on testing the goalkeeper. "70 minutes has almost passed on by. Can Quakers find something from this corner? Of course, up is Tritton. Of course, up is Ryan Marchant. In-swinging ball from Elul towards the back stick. Marchant cleared only as far as Iski again. It's bouncing in the box. It's cleared by Barcham. All on his own. How quick is he? How quick is he? Ethan Eichen for two! Oh! Inches away from a second. Such a powerful runner with the ball, so quick. Found space and ran into it with intent. And off his left peg, it was nearly a wondrous finish into the roof of the net. It wasn't to be. So close, though. Clipped in behind. That's a lovely ball. Correa. I think that's Jordan Hannon now. Jordan Hannon now! And saved again by Balcom, who's having a storming performance. This game could be a whole different scoreline in truth if it wasn't for him. That's one of his best of the night right there. We will say... No, we're not saying goodbye to Kyle Dominici just yet. I thought they were going to the bench, the Hawks. Just over 15 left to go. Still separated by only a singular goal. Here he is, and he will strike it. Fizzing across the fake grass. And now Alessi. It was blocked again, Van Kluster. It's opened up for Ethan Eichen. Again saved. My word, well, he came so close down this end of the pitch in the All-Stars game just over a month ago. And he's come so close twice in the matter of 2 minutes there. Some unbelievable performances from goalkeepers have stopped it. Van Kluster is down a couple of blocks there. I think it took a bit of a painful ricochet off one of his joints, I guess you could say. Add a minute or two onto the end of this 90 minutes. Returns. Does the man with 40,000 steps today, it seems, Jules Bombard. back to his feet. And soon to recommence. Drop ball. Likely to be punted into next week again by Balcom. Tiz. Yiski got the critical touch. That was Ryan Corkery there involved as well. Ryan Marchant. Yiski has time. Oh, it was a really important touch, Howarth. And now pushing those green numbers forward might come back to bite them here. Oh, and Franklin Cobby completely missed the ball. Marchant looking for the delicate switch wide. Fresh legs of Corkery. Easiest claim of the night for Eckford in goal. Under 15 left to go. We played 5/6 of this game. Another clip in behind off the shoulder of Eichen. Tritton's done well. Asking his goalkeeper to come for it. He does. Sent away by Balcom again. Not that it's really caused much of a hassle for Doonside in the opening 75 minutes of this game. Corkery putting pressure on. Iski there trying to turn. Picked up there, Corkery again. And sent away. Barcham. Oh, lovely touch out of the sky by Zwerb, to be fair to him. What a player. And Correa's onside. And Correa's steaming forward. And still Marcus Correa. And still Marcus Correa! With a thunderbolt into the roof of the net. First match of the round. First round of the season. And first goal to go with it too. And that should be the one that seals this game. An absolutely delightful take out of the sky. Started by Zwerb. The diag to absolute perfection. And he's played all around the world. But in Doonside colours, he is really flourishing. Marcus Correa, number 1, and many more to come. That was a moment where two players and their individual brilliance combined to create a spectacular goal. For those who want to be entertained, there's your entertainment. A quick change has been made. Zwerb, who's got an assist to go to his name in the match of the round. Barcham, who's been perfectly competent in his match of the round debut. So Hayden Upton has come on in the number 42 jersey. That long hair in the middle of the park. Mikey's first touch here just evaded him slightly. Marchant was quick. Optum doing really well to compete for it. Quakers throw. Dominici. So we're back to his keeper. Nice work there, Eckford. Howarth. Optum. A bit too naive there. Welcome to the match of the round, Hayden. Picked up really well there by Jordan Hannon, who had a chance to score himself. He's now going to try to deliver it in behind to Ethan Eichen, who he's combined with for so many years up the right flank. Eichen into the box. It should be his assist. Franklin Cobby off the crossbar from point-blank range, my word. That should have been 3. It should have been 3 when it came to the centre of the park. There was someone here who snatched at the chance. I don't think Cobby was really expecting it to go to him. It did end up coming to him, and he swung and missed. Ethan Eichen should have had an assist. It might have been Marcus Correa. I'm not 100% sure. Bartram picks it up. He has some space to work into in these final 10 minutes of the first match of the round of the year. Jaden Zwerab. Liam Howarth. Two all-stars combining there. Cobby was being held back. It's the yellow against Van Klooster. Liam Howarth doing his best showboating, knowing that he's on camera. The Thierry Henry dribble while running there. Burkamp did it first. Outswinger towards the black stick of ball. Correa was threatening. Struck towards goal by Hannon. It wasn't really connected with well. That's been sent into touch near the Quakers technical area. They're going to try and play quickly. Will it to be of any avail, though? Alou trying his best. He's been okay off the bench. At least he's been brave. Marchant, who's still had a good game. With that captain's armband on, not weighing him down whatsoever. Well done by Optum. Cobby. Howarth now into the final 8 minutes. That's a horrendous tackle. If you are the knees of Liam Howarth. Luckily, though, all ball in the process. Picked up here, Ryan Marchant, who just put in a great tackle. Howarth says revenge time, although he loses the ball. There's Timbos. Still Justin Timbos. Zwerab read it but didn't quite get the connection on it, but Eckford helped out his captain there. Optum has time to turn, and luckily so, because he's fallen over the ball rather comedically there. Oh, that'll go in the group chat within 5 minutes of the game ending, no doubt. Camera shy. Nice touch, Eichen. Marchant into the midsection there of Optum, and now so much space. Eichen goes to play postman this time because he is delivering. Correa, what about his ball into the box? Cobby thought about perhaps the bicycle kick. Instead, I think he actually connected with the head there of Stockdale, who's okay, by the way. Totally okay. He did the Che Adams, if you like. One there, Timbos. Zverev has done so well. Probably the player of the match. 4 pass, Optum. 5 to go. For once, he's misread it, but he's quick enough to recover. And so as long as Jaden Zverev has the ability to read the game as he does and is able to maintain at least 50% of the pace that he has, he'll be successful in this league for a long, long time. Probably could have, some might say should have been a fullback. But his ability through the middle, so integral. They both missed it there. Throw in. Of course, I should mention that the Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup has been in the hands of Doonside for a number of years consecutively now. Kyle Dominici was a scorer in the preseason version of this competition last year. Ethan Eichen played his first game for Quakers against Doonside in this cup game last year. Here is Kyle Dominici, looking like he's going to blast one. Less said about that, the better. And they've asked him to release it quicker. And he says, yes, I agree. I'm sorry. Rush of blood. Well, the touch worked, one way or another. Oh, lovely Cobby. So much space. This has to be 3. Will he go for it himself? Great save, Balcom. Eichen diving into it. And Quakers will clear. It's now just a case of survival. There's another Quakers player down. They're going to continue on Doonside. They're still asking for the play to be stopped. They're under no obligation to. And now they will as the ball goes dead. Liam Howarth comes on, or off I should say, after another wonderful performance from left back. Josh Atkins comes on for his first match of the round appearance for a while, after speaking so well on the podcast in midweek. Geordie Cullen is on as well in place of Daniel Alessi. Welcome back, Daniel Alessi, from the NPL world to the greatest comp in the world, of course, the Blacktown Premier League. Quakers probably know that the score is settled. 2 down with probably just about 2.5 minutes to go. They've barely had a pip at goal in the second half. Barcham wins it with a thud off his right boot. Dominici. Marcus Correa, who sealed the game with his second goal. Or with the team's second goal. Oh, clip over Eckford! Oh, and off the post, and so unlucky. It was Elul who struck the upright there and completely caught everybody off guard. The whole ground went silent for just a moment, and we thought, almost on cue as we were just talking about it here, that the game was over. That would have halved the deficit, and it would have been a frantic couple of minutes or so, but it wasn't to be. And might that just be the story of the night for Quakers Hill Juniors? Geordie Cullen there in the 24 jersey. Turn. Nicely done, Dominici. He feeds it through this time. He's released the ball and listened to his teammates. Marcus Correa wants an assist. Eichen missed it somehow and cleared. Throw in to inside. Well, Doonside have clearly strut their stuff as the better team of the two in this second half. If it wasn't already the case in the first, I'll leave that to a matter of opinion. In my word, they could have actually had far more goals in this game. That's what they brought Ethan Eichen back for. I can hear phone alarms going off around the ground, which means that we're close to the end of the game. My clock says that we're 30 seconds from it. Handball there by Atkins. Balo will take the throw. And Kluster. Look at the watch by the referee. I'm not sure he really needs to add much more time. Perhaps if they'd have halved the deficit off the post there, instead it went. We would have gone on a bit longer. Elul now. Eckford's still a little far from goal. Not that it would be in your frame of sight. Cut back in by Stockdale. Pass Atkins. Oh, wow. And now perhaps to pull it back, and it didn't happen. Atkins blushes spared. Ooh, and a bad slide in there on Balo by Franklin Colby. He's unhappy with it, but he's got a yellow card. It's primarily a reserve grade link up there between Colby and Atkins, and his reserve grade captain's clearly told his left winger to just relax a little bit. 30 seconds into added on time now. Might this be the final chance for either side in this game? In by Van Kluster. Good looking ball with some nice angle on it. Marchant trying to maneuver into a shooting position, and it was blocked really bravely by Doonside. And they're not really pushing too many numbers forward. Poor ball by Atkins there. Geordie Cullen did well. Oh, Ethan Eichen, that's splendid stuff. Correa wants a second one. He must score, surely. Side netting, game over. Signed, sealed, delivered. Welcome to the match of the round, Marcus Correa. Now he's done it in front of the masses watching along. A very composed finish when he had perhaps too much time to think about it. But he thought right and buried it. And Quakers down by 3. Dooney have found their shooting boots in this second half. 3 unanswered goals in the first minute of the second half and in the last dying embers of it too. The Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup will be staying in its honourable home. Back to Glendenning it will go. How many more minutes will we get? Out it goes. Throw in Dooney. There'll be no rush to take this. Can we just talk about Ethan Eichen's touch for a moment before the final whistle is blown? An assist and a goal on return against his former club. It was really splendid. Really, really marvellous stuff. Cleared away Zwerb. It's going to go all the way through via one bounce to the keeper. Might that bring about the last moments of the game? Now he sends it away back where it came from. Atkins with a powerful mullet-driven header. Foul. Free kick. It's been a game played politely, fiercely but politely. One or two bad tackles here or there, more missed times than bad, you'd have to say. That will bring about the final moment of the game. The Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup, for the first time in front of the masses in the match of the round, goes the way of Doonside once again, as it did last year and the year before that. The game was killed off and won by Ethan Eichen, and some brilliance from Marcus Correa. 2 match of the round stars who will be so keen to help Doonside try and do what they did back in 2022. This is a strong, strong team, and when they're back to full strength as well, they'll be even harder to contend with. We learnt a lot about Quakers Hill Juniors today and a lot of their young players. It's going to be a season perhaps what that suggested, not towards the top end of the table. Can they compete for finals? Absolutely they can. And that's where the club needs to band together and put all their eggs into the basket of can they compete towards the latter end of the season. But my word, what a great performance it was up top in the second half by some of those boys in Doonside colours. I encourage you all to watch the presentation if you are tuning in from around the grounds of the Ryan Dimech Memorial Cup and hear about the speeches from some of the players and the boys that played alongside him. Thank you to those who tuned in and respected this spectacle for what it is. I really appreciate the family and friends of Ryan Dimech for allowing us to broadcast this. It's a very special occasion and one that we're honoured to say has finally been a match of the round. My name is Mark DePoli. Thank you so much, so much for tuning in. It is great to be back in front of you all, and I hope that you enjoyed what you saw and heard. The Blacktown Comp Premier League level is back. Until next week, see you later.